Thank you so much. My name is Dr. Mbi Kavindu. I'm an artist by the stage name Influx. You're aware that there's a review of the curriculum. Where are we as the creative sector? In the next 2 years, we'll have senior secondary as per the recommendations of the task force. Will we at that point start running? Where is the content? Can the ministry involve us? And finally, whoever is taking the minutes should remember that we were here again in 2013. We were here in 2016. This time round, there must be impact, there must be action so that we can move forward.
Thank you.
Influx, round key, sema form ni ujuzi. Form ni ujuzi. Na ujuzi ni mali. Ujuzi ni mali. Form ni ujuzi.
Hello. Let's be seated. I want to say thank you very much, Juma, and the entire team, Waziri. As I promised in the morning, I'll be your ally. I've sat, I've listened, and for the first time, I can give recommendations of what we need to do. I want to thank the Speaker of Parliament, Honorable Wetangula, my chair at Sports, for sending us rapporteurs from Parliament. As I promised in the morning, this deliberation will not end here. It will go far. There are a couple of things which you have picked, and I believe we'll be sharing with the ministry. First, to deal with policy. Secondly, to deal with regulation. Thirdly, to deal with legislation. Fourth, to deal with management. Fifth, to deal with reorganization and restructuring of some of the things I've had. And I want to believe that this meeting will take a totally different direction. And I hear you have been here in 2013, you have been here in 2016, but I want to promise this is 2022, a new era in Kenya. We'll work closely with the minister, Honorable Namwamba Namjua, and I can assure you we'll deliver a totally different platform for this sector. There are many challenges I've had, and there are many solutions which I don't want to give here. Once we go back to Parliament, I'll tell you the process. We are going to prepare a report, including all the resolution, Juma, and I will personally table that report in Parliament on behalf of the committee, so that the Senator Wetangula, with the Speaker of the National Assembly, can liaise with Ababu and forward that report to the relevant committee of Parliament so that we can have a very clear, structured resolution. It's not easy. Jesse, I was telling him it will take us close to about 3 to 4 months. So I want to promise you before probably we go for Easter, we have something whereby artists in this country wanaweza jivunia. We have to be patient. Legislation is not easy. For those who have been there for 10 years, we know you can be really frustrated with some of the processes. But we are equal to the task and we'll be able to make sure that we perform this. Waziri, I've been here the whole day. I'll just want to tell you there are things which are very clear to me. First and foremost, we must separate blame game and looking at other people as if they are impenitent to ourselves for entitlement. It is your right to get what is yours. There is no option. Two, Waziri, my suggestion is that I've heard a lot about CMOs. In the morning when I was coming, I didn't know what was a CMO, but now I can define it. And I want to pick from legislative point of view. If you guys you want to go far, you need to think outside the box, as I said in the morning, and probably collapse the entire 3 CMOs to 1 CMO with 9 directors and 1 CEO. We are not looking back, because at the end of the day, this country must rule by the rule of law and the guidance and policy. And we have a mwongozo. Secondly, artists, you need to come out of your comfort zone. There is a task force going on regarding education in the country. I've heard in this stage, you want education to be brought on board, you want the syllabus to be brought on board. Please, I get Honorable Namwamba, and I know in government you can be able to provide platform for a few of you to meet the task force which is reviewing the CBC and give suggestion to this, because I know they will still, some of those things will have to come to Parliament. I'll see, and I can assure you, as the Sports, Arts and Youth Affairs Committee will be your champion. We also need to look at how do we structure our organizations. And we structure our organization in a manner whereby you don't want to have one person making all the decision without consulting the stakeholders. It is in the Constitution. Public participation and stakeholders must be respected. And I believe from where I'm seated, Babu, what we need to do is what we did to the Foreign Affairs when I was with you at Foreign Committee. We might be forced to collapse some of the legislation in this sector and come up with one single legislation called the National Creative Bill, which will carry everybody on board and create clear cadres whereby we need to. As we sit here, where are our photographers? They are here, but where are they domiciled? At the Media Council? Where? And you need them. Yes, you need them. So there, I will be honest, Waziri, and I'm ready to work with you on this talk, because me, kianza kitu, any new parliament, this is my, being elected 4th terms in 3rd year. When I begin anything in my new parliament, I make sure that we go to the end. I will work with you to this to make sure that we deliver a new totally different. Last but not least, which we need to look at seriously is, if you want any function to perform, you must do a very serious analysis of the finance behind it. And I think the second last panel did a very beautiful job to show us how much money are we looking ahead to tap to this country. We are here, pesa mfukoni, shida kando. Kwa hivyo, we need to focus on how to deal with piracy. And Waziri, I'm very clear in my mind. We can't deal with piracy when we are laughing with the pirates. We must be very firm. And people, heads must roll. And people must be ready to face the music. With that, we will protect all the panels we have had today of arts, visual art, the fashion, the actors, and whatever, so that we can make sure that this industry can generate revenue for the growth of this nation and employ extra Kenyans. And that's the business we have and conversation we need to look forward for. So, with those few remarks, I want to assure you, we are going to work tirelessly. I just want to ask the clerks from Parliament to stand so that you can know we are serious and we are here. That's our sister. She's part of the clerks who are assigned to the Sports, Youth Affairs and Arts Committee. And I know she's very able. She will be able to put up a report which we'll share with the minister and the teams, Juma, before the report is tabled. Once we table the report, there are things I want you guys to do. We'll invite different stakeholders for a meeting with this committee, so that if there is anything we need to do legislation, we will not be stopped at a point whereby we'll be told we have not done public participation. But the biggest public participation, we have done it today. I will run away with it. The rest will be a matter of trying to sieve any grayling hairs and move forward. Last but not least, Waziri, the challenge is very clear. We have work to do. We need to engage the Media Council. They cannot afford to miss this kind of event. We know they are in their own private business, but they also operate within the laws of Kenya. And nobody is above the law. We need to have an engagement before we engage the other gears to bring them on board. I like what Safaricom has said, and we need to engage Safaricom. And if the artist you feel is right to get your money direct, whatever process is done, let's fast track it through the ministry to make sure that you get your money right and we get away with the cartels. Get away with the cartels and you get your money. And last but not least, I wish you all the best. I know it has been a long day, but it is not in vain. And I believe that we have an able minister who will be able to take the challenge by his own. And I can assure you, in consultation with the committees, with the committee, there are things which you'll not see very soon. We'll deal with them precisely, because we need to move forward and create jobs. It is the business of the day for all of us as leaders to make sure that we create jobs, we create employment, and we make sure that we move forward. So I want to wish you all the best, and probably when we'll be having the second summit, let me call this the first summit, under new leadership. When we'll be having the second summit, Waziri, we'll have something to give to these people. We'll have a proper structure of how we want to do. And I want to believe that we'll be able to do so. God bless you. God bless the art industry. I was here courtesy of Parliament, representing our chair, who I said in the morning is battling his petition. But you have an ally in the committee, myself. That one, you can take it to the bank, and I know will. And you are lucky. Ababu, I have only one committee to serve this time round. I have only this committee of sports and whatever, so I'll have enough time. The only thing is that I have a very big challenge to amend the constitution to make sure that we entrench CDF in the constitution, we entrench GAF, we entrench Senate Oversight Fund, and we are also creating something which I've had severally been mentioned here, the Stimulus and Economic Empowerment Fund in the Constitution. It will be our right as Kenyans, so that we don't want to rely on pronunciations from all corners. We want to be structured people. God bless you, God bless Kenya, God bless the art in this country.
Thank you very much. I am really happy today because this forum has given me insights into this industry that I did not have before. And I want to thank everybody who really has spared the time to be here. I'm really grateful to my good brother, Honorable Mule here, for spending the whole day with us. I've been in this parliament for 10 years, and I know what it means for a member of parliament to dedicate his whole day to sit, to listen, and to be part of the conversation. So, Mheshimiwa, I want you to know that we don't take that for granted. And please convey our gratitude to the committee back in the House, and with the message that we are looking forward to working with you very closely to progress the conversation that we have had today. I heard it mentioned here that you have sat in this ukumbi before, and you have had conversations of this nature. But I want to tell you that this is a different one for several reasons. One, this is institutional. I believe conversations you have had previously have been built around personalities. This is different. This is not a conversation that you're going to say belonged to this personality or that personality. This is a conversation that is institutional. It is owned fully by institutions of government, the ministry, Kekobo. It is owned by agencies that are part of this journey, Safaricom, the CMOs, everybody's part of this, and yourselves, so it's different. And most importantly, there's a new sheriff in town. When there's a new sheriff in town, there's a new order of things. So there's a new way of doing things. This sheriff is definitely going to do things differently. I want to assure you that there are some low-hanging fruits that we can pluck straight away. We do not need to wait for any piece of legislation, for instance, to make sure that the Sports, Arts and Social Development Fund, which today allocates only 5% to arts, is reconfigured to give more attention to the arts. We don't need any, that is something we can do, and that is something we are going to do. We don't need to wait for any piece of legislation or any policy paper to launch our version of the Grammy Awards so that we can honor and appreciate our artists better. That is something we can do and something we should be able to do right away. I definitely believe we do not need to wait for legislation or policy change to launch our Talanta Hela program, which will be a platform that can help us to identify talent, to grow talent, and market talent. We do not need to wait for any magic from anywhere to become more transparent, to become more accountable. We don't need. I think the CMOs that have been part of this conversation know that they don't need any law to reduce the percentage of what they collect and spend on logistical and running expenses compared to what they remit to the artists. That is an administrative thing that can be done like this. So there are certain low-hanging fruits that I believe we can start running with immediately. I don't think we need to wait for anything to make it very clear that local content should be given priority in our media outlets. That we talk about this all the time. I don't think this is something we need to wait for any longer. I don't think we need to wait too long to ask the Communications Authority, the Matatu Owners Association, the county governments, especially in the major towns like Nairobi, Mombasa, Nakuru, Kisumu, to twin licensing and collection of royalties. That is something that we can do administratively. What I'm saying is that immediately from this conversation, immediately from this summit, there are certain things we can start rolling out immediately. And we are going to put together a process that can enable us to start rolling out some of these things without any delay. We will therefore wait for this report, and then from that report we are going to isolate actions that we can run with immediately. and action that will require legislation and policy. All those issues put together are going to constitute a cabinet memo that I'll present to cabinet for information and for action. So that cabinet will be aware of the progress we have made in this conversation, but cabinet will also be aware of the legislative and policy changes that are required and that we are going to do together with Parliament. I know that there are some big issues that have been discussed here. MCGSE, for instance, you have reminded us of the conversation around the Creative Economy Council. That is a matter that requires a major policy shift, and definitely it requires a legislative anchor. That is something which we are going to include in our cabinet memo so that cabinet can have an opportunity to look at, and then Parliament will also have a chance to deliberate on it, and then we see how we can progress it. Please have some faith. Have some faith that things can get better, because I'm determined to make things better. I have come into a ministry which is a hodgepodge of so many things. This ministry has young people and a million issues that need to be sorted in the State Department of Youth. This ministry has sports. I was running off earlier in the day to go to announce to Kenyans that FIFA has lifted the ban that has been on this country for the last 1 year. And this is among the heavy burdens I inherited in this ministry. And I gave my commitment that we were going to resolve this matter in the shortest time possible. We have talked and talked and talked. I had to travel to Doha last week to meet face-to-face with the President of FIFA, Gianni Infantino, and his team, for us to have an understanding and an agreement to have this done. I was handling a crisis with rugby people. I'm handling a crisis with doping in athletics. Tomorrow there's a meeting of World Athletics where Kenya is listed as an agenda for being banned for doping. So there are 1,000,001 balls in the air. I could easily relegate the creative industry to the back burner, but I have deliberately said I'm not going to do that. So that as we juggle the balls of football and rugby and athletics and youth unemployment and all that kind of stuff, I am determined to maintain the creative sector as a top priority in the work of this ministry. So please feel comfortable that you now have a home. You have a home for the very first time ever. You've never heard the word art as part of any ministry of government since independence. This is the first time that you have a ministry architectured deliberately to provide space for this industry. And the way we are going to do it is that we are going to have a whole department. I have already talked to the Public Service Commission to have a whole department fully staffed with officers whose only business when they wake up to come to the office at 8 until 5 p.m., 5 days a week, throughout the year, will be to service the art sector. And so you're going to have officers that you can talk to. When I came to this ministry, I was told that since time immemorial, government only assigned 3 people called art officers. Out of those 3, 2 disappeared into thin air, and one remained hanging somewhere unsure and unaware of what they were supposed to be doing within government. But we are curing that. We have told the Public Service Commission that we are going to have a whole department populated by officers, and we are going to advertise these positions. So we are going to be recruiting some of you into these positions, okay? People whose business will be to help us to progress some of the brilliant ideas that you have put forth today. I assure you that this is not the end of this conversation. It is only but the beginning. We'll continue to consult together. I particularly want to work with you on my pet project, our legacy project, the Talanta Hela project. Because if we pull it off, if we pull off the Talanta Hela project, we will completely revolutionize the space of talent, sporting, development, and marketing in this country in a big way, and monetizing talent and commercializing talent and turning the talent space into a major economic driver. I believe it can be done. Actually, we will do it together. So asanteni sana. Niko na marafiki hapa nimeita who have been listening to us. China has a new cultural counselor who is responsible for cultural diplomacy. And please, come, let me introduce you. This lady is going to be responsible for cultural relations between Kenya and China. And I have every intention of making China a big partner of the creative space. Yes. Yes, thank you very much. Thank you. You're welcome. Welcome to Nairobi. And so one of the things that people have lied to you, people have told you that it's not possible to bring partners into this space. People have told you it's not possible to bring sponsors and money into this space. There's a lot of money out there. We want to bring money into this space. We want to open up space. I don't understand, and there's no reason why you cannot go to perform in China. There's no reason why you cannot go to perform, take your performances across the world. There's absolutely no reason. Absolutely no reason. And we are going to do it with you. But, that lady, please remind me your name. The lady in blue. You. Eunice Mukai. Eunice said, you artists, you are enemies of yourselves. You are enemies of yourselves. Please stop being enemies of yourselves. Stop undermining each other. Stop undermining yourselves. Stop being recruited to fight petty wars that do not serve your interests. Sasa mtu analipa wewe vipeni vidogo vidogo. Kwanza mtu anakuibia mamilioni, alafu anakupelipa mapeni, alafu anakutuma kufanya nyefu ambayo haikusaidii. Useless. Bure kabisa. Bure. Please be serious. We said here in the morning, not everybody can be an artist. Being an artist is not a joke. It's not a joke. So we have to respect your talent. But for us to respect you, you have to respect yourselves first. And someone who pays you money to misbehave really disrespects you. That person has got zero respect for you. Atanakutumia vipesa vidogo vidogo, anakutuma, enda upige kelele pale, enda uandamine yule pale. That fellow has no respect for you. Kwanza yeye mwenyewe hata hajiheshimu. Yes, because if you respect yourself and you respect people, you don't pay them to undermine things that are useful. So first of all, you artists, I want to work with you, but please get serious. Please be serious. If we want to make change is not easy, by the way. Change is painful. Change is painful. And so we are going to all have to make a price. We are going to have to make a sacrifice to make positive change. And me, if I have your mandate, I will wield the big stick. and we'll wield the big broom so that we can sweep this room clean, because this room is dirty. This room is dirty. Just the way we are cleaning up sports, okay? Today I was telling the Kenya Rugby Union, how do you send players to Dubai without any money in their pockets? Where are they going to sleep? What are they going to eat? So they said, you give us some money, we send them. I told them, no, I will provide money for them, but I will send that money to the players direct. I'll not give it to you. Because if I give it to you, hata haitafika Dubai, itaishia hapa Nairobi. Actually, I might give you the money, and it is you who will go to Dubai, then the money will remain in Nairobi. And that's the same thing that happens in this industry. Money comes, and it doesn't reach the target. So please let us get serious together. I want to finish by assuring the creative space that our conversation is about everybody. It is all-encompassing. So if there was any impression that other forms of the creative industry are not included, this actually is all-encompassing. We are talking music. Music took a little bit more space because perhaps it has been the most problematic. It has had the biggest challenges, so we spent a little bit more time on that. But we want to talk the whole creative space. We want to talk fine art, visual art. We want to talk theater. We want to talk ile yako MCJ ni gani? Comedy. We want to talk film. Kwanza film, we want to talk film in a big way. I have met some people, Victor, I met some people in Ababu, and we are talking big things about film. We want to do certain things with on the big film stage, okay? I want you to come here and tell us about partnerships between Nairobi and LA, okay? Let's talk big, okay? In fact, you and us should agree that we are not going to do anything small. We are going to do big things. Me, I don't like doing small. I like doing it big, and so we are going to do big things together. Asanteni sana. Let us keep this conversation going from fine artists to fashion. Fashion is key, and we are going to be talking fashion. Margarita, thank you so much, my dear. Thank you so much for being here. And we want minds like yours to keep inspiring the younger generation that are coming in your footsteps so that we can all move together. I really appreciate everybody who has come here. And take it from me, this is only the beginning. Asanteni sana. God bless you all. God bless the creatives, and God bless our motherland, Kenya. Thank you very much.